Hello, family. On this Memorial Weekend 2023, I thought it'd be befitting to post a video of several family graveyards in Missouri where original Senekers migrated from Tennessee and settled. My wife and I are camped in Marshall, Missouri, which is northwest of Columbia. If you came down I-70 to US 65 and went north, you would hit Marshall. On the other side of the Missouri River is a county called Chariton County, Little Dixie area of Missouri. I think I pronounced Chariton correctly. It's Chariton. Chariton's kind of a neat area in that located nearby is Arrow Rock, Missouri, which is a village that's still occupied to this day. It's a wonderful place to visit. That would be the first river crossing that Lewis and Clark had done coming out of St. Louis and then continued on what we call US 24 on their trail. And then later on, the Santa Fe Trail originated in the area of Arrow Rock, and then settlers took that all the way to Santa Fe, New Mexico. So certainly the people out in east would have heard about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach 3 driving videos that have no audio on it that kind of show you our approaches to these 3 different cemeteries that we visited and the nice farmland. And then in 2 of those cemeteries I did an audio recording. I'm going to attach that too. In that county there are 3 areas that are very interest to the Senekers. And the family knows this, but if somebody happens to watch this video and doesn't know, all Senekers in the United States are related. There has not been one confirmation that anyone with the last name Seneker is not related. We all are, and that's because the second generations of Senekers in America changed the name from Schoenecker to Seneker. I knew that there were 2 sons for sure that had left Tennessee and traveled to Missouri. One, Jacob Susong Seneker, who was buried here in Brunswick, Missouri. And the second one would have been Elias G, who traveled down to southern Missouri, Lawrence County, and that's the branch that I'm related through. These 3 cemeteries that we visited, they were Elliott Grove in Brunswick with Jacob Susong Seneker. He's the only one there. His wife, he passed away, and his wife moved back to Tennessee. And then Minden City Cemetery, which is really Minden Township. There's nothing out there but a very nice cemetery on the prairies and beautiful farmland. That's north of Brunswick. Also north of Brunswick, halfway to Minden is a town called Triplet, Missouri, which is different in that it's tiny and all the roads are still gravel, and their main street is no longer. All the brick buildings have collapsed and trees are growing up through them. I don't know why, this didn't survive. But outside of Triplet, you drive down a long county road, and you'll see that in the video, which dead ends at the front door of a house. And on that property is the Fleetwood Cemetery, in which there are Senekers buried. Unfortunately, no one came out to greet us, and I know enough about country life that you don't knock on the front door if you're not friends. Well, they go around back, quite frankly, but you just don't do that. Well, buried at Fleetwood Cemetery would be a 3rd generation Seneker to have come from Tennessee, and that would have been William Franklin Seneker. It turns out that his daughter would marry into the Fleetwood family, and I know as for sure in 1930 the Fleetwoods still owned this house at the end of the lane, and I don't know who owns it now, unfortunately. So that cemetery, judging from photos that I found, is at Fleetwood is overgrown, unfortunately, and not cared for. So what I'll do is post all of this. I hope it makes sense, and we'll talk at you later. Okay, we're in Elliott Grove Cemetery outside of Bristol, Brunswick, Missouri, which is an old port town off the Missouri River. I'll talk about that later. But the main reason here was to find Jacob Susong Seneker's grave, which we have. Jacob was a son to Elias Seneker, who traveled out west, and more on that later, but just to give you a view of where it's at in the cemetery, because it took a little while to find it. It's in section 3. If you look for this, yeah, this little mausoleum, he's just to the left of it, right here, and and we're not going to find his wife's out here, because the way I'm not sure. I need to look it up, but I think she might have gone. He died in 1890, as I recall, and his headstone. Yeah, it is a cool headstone. His wife, as I recall, traveled back to Washington County, Tennessee, which is by Johnson City, Tennessee, and returned where her family was at after he died.
Read it, honey.
Oh, okay. It says Jacob Susong Seneker. Of course, Susong is that would be his grandmother's maiden name, Susong. Not maiden name, but married name. She was married to Susong. Born near Bristol, Sulivan County, Tennessee, September 29, 1818. Died in Brunswick on July 2nd, 1890. By the way, Brunswick, even though that's a German name, it's really, the town's named after a guy from England. This is the town's name in England, was Brunswick. So, here we go.
Show the back of it.
I will. That's my wife Karen talking there. Hi. There's a circle drive right here. I may get around to posting another video, but boy, this thing's either held up real good. No, it's got some weathering on it. Yeah. So Jacob, his wife would have been buried on East Hill Cemetery in Bristol. That's where I'm still doing some research. These are like tassels or something that are engraved from this Bible. I'm still doing research, but as of today, in 2023, my thought pattern is there were at least 3 different generations of Senekers that traveled to the area of Brunswick, and that I'm not sure if Jacob came after a grandson of Elias's, or if he came first. We'll know. We'll figure it out, and I'll do another video that talks about this general area. How pretty. Missouri River, not very far from here. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Brunswick was a major port off the Missouri River. Brunswick's located near the Grand River, so you can get up into central Missouri that way. That's it for now. Well, I tell you what, if they'd bury these people in alphabetic order, it'd sure be a lot easier to find them. We are outside. We're about 11 miles from Brunswick, which was the last cemetery we just got done going to. And this is in an area called Mendon City, Mendon. It's really a township. And I'll show you here in a moment. It's just countryside. And this is the resting place of Elias E. Seneker, born February 27, 1857 in Bristol, Tennessee. He died in Triplet, Triplett, Missouri, in 1935. And Triplet's just down the road a few miles towards Brunswick. All right, this is the Mendon City Cemetery. And Isaac is, from my notes, he's a third-generation Seneker who came from the Bristol, Tennessee area. He is the son of John E. Seneker, who was born and died there in Blountville. And John E. Seneker is the son of Elias G. Seneker. So this is a third-generation Seneker that, so far in my research, came directly from Tennessee. He's buried next to his wife, Fanny Seahorn Seneker. She was born in 1861, died in 1891. Wow. Isaac did have two wives. His second wife was Nancy Spahr, S-P-A-H-R. And I stand corrected. John E. Seneker had two wives. Isaac was the son of the second wife, who was Nancy Spahr. And then there's a Benjamin S. Seneker, born February 1, 1889, died February 1, 1948, buried here as well. Give you a little scope here. And this is the main gate. Come down the main gate. And then if you did like us, you walk past these graves 3 or 4 times before you get on the other side and find out that Isaac and his kin are just down from the main gate about 50 feet. I'm going to, I'll pan around a little bit and show you the countryside. It's just farmland for as far as you can see. More than likely I'll attach this to a couple other graveyard videos. And before I'll put a little introduction. It'll be a long video, but the Senekers here in the Brunswick area of Missouri, I'm astonished to find out what a gold mine there are of a second and third generation that came from Tennessee to Missouri. So got a lot of work to do tracking everybody down, but there'll be more later. I'll attach this video to a little more information.